about the length of a TED Talk.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'm doing my impersonation of the Karate Kid. You know, John and Taylor, do you know why we do this in the beginning of our videos? You know why we do this in the beginning? Because when it's on social media, you ever see those guys going like this and going like, and then you're like, oh, what are these crazy people talking about? And then they turn it on and play the audio. So that's our little social media tip. All right. So our first guest today attended the Myron B. I'll do Taylor, you do John. Our first guest today attended Myron B. Thompson Academy and graduated from Brigham Young University, Hawaii in 2015 with a bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science. He's currently the marketing director of Kilauea Pest Control, which provides termite and pest control service island-wide. Please welcome to the show Taylor Bramwell and Adrian.
We've got the one and only John Speed. So he's originally from Beaumont, Texas, and received his MBA from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. He's a licensed pest control operator with over 20 years experience in the pest control industry. Please welcome our guest, the owner and president of Kilauea Pest Control. Welcome, guys.
Yep.
Welcome everybody. Back.
Thanks for having us.
Great to be back.
Yeah. All right. So, I have some topics that I'd like to cover in today's show. They're going to be birds.
Okay.
I was thinking like this, if we were to intro the show, it'd be like, today we're going to talk about the birds and the bees. But not that birds and the bees conversation. It's birds, bees, rats, centipedes. Yeah. Termites, and then maybe we'll even throw in some bunnies right at the end. But why don't we start off with John? Take us from, give us your origin story. How did you start Kilauea Pest Control?
Started Kilauea Pest Control. So it was something that you don't think when you're a kid you're going to be a bug guy, but I was actually just going to school, and my brother spent a summer selling pest control door to door, and in Southern California. I was here in Hawaii. And I was visiting him, and I was like, dude, I will never do that. I will never go out and sell pest control. And sure enough, he was such a good sales guy that he talked me and all my friends into coming down the next summer. And so we sold pest control. And after that year, I was like, I will never do that again. But the money was so good that you kind of have to, like, it gets you. It gets you. So I did that for 4 years, and then graduated from BYU Hawaii, and then ended up starting the business here because it's a great business. My wife and I love living here in Hawaii and everything about it. We've raised our kids here. We have 3 children. I have a senior in high school this year, which is nuts, and 2 other kiddos. And we've had the business 18 years. So we started the business, and then let's see, about 4 months later, we had our oldest. So it's really easy for me to tell. He's 18, Kilauea's 18, and we've just grown as much as we can throughout the years. And Taylor's been with us for a few years, but is actually my brother that I worked with the pest control company on, that I worked for his pest control company. He actually trained Taylor's brother, Nick, who was our sales manager for a while. And then when Taylor came to school out here, Nick trained Taylor, and Taylor has been a great part of Kilauea ever since. So yeah, that's a little bit about us.
Yeah, Taylor calls in. He calls into the radio show with his bug tips of the week. We love hearing from Taylor and from you, John. In fact, we are in front of one of your buildings. We're in front of a building that you guys
service. Pacifica?
Yeah.
Pacifica, Honolulu, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, we're at the Roku restaurant. We're going to have lunch here in a little bit. So I feel like we're like Hawaii News now, where your man and woman on the street with the news, coming to you live from across McKinley High School. Taylor, your story. What's your story?
Yeah, I grew up here. My family moved to Kailua when I was about 5 years old, from California, and then been here since. Pretty much went to school at BYU Hawaii as well. So me and John have the same alumni for our bachelor's degree. And like you said, during that time, when I started school, I started doing door-to-door sales as well for him. So it's coming around full circle, right? He started that way, and then I started that way. And like you said, I was working with my brother first. And then my brother left school, and I kind of took over the door-to-door team for a while, and then worked on various projects over the years between that. And then I came back on full time about 3.5 years ago as handling, the marketing and other different projects, sales projects within the organization. So I've been with Kilauea several years, and it's been great ever since. And yeah.
And then, being a native Hawaiian, I love companies with Hawaiian names. And so we gotta, and it's it's a Hawaiian company that may not necessarily be a Hawaiian name, but give us the story, because I love that story, John, that you always tell about how you guys came up with the name.
Yeah, it's a Hawaiian name, and it's Kilauea Pest, but it's a very howly take on it. It's kill away a pest. So it's as dad joke as you get. And I actually, for some reason, I'm not in town a whole lot or at Ala Moana, but I happened to be at Ala Moana the other day because I had to go by, was it Ren Spooner, they had a new shirt, that Aloha shirt that had bugs all over it. So I had to get that shirt. So I go in there, and then across from there is Martin and MacArthur. So I popped in for a second, and I was talking to the sales guy there, and he was commenting on my shirt, on the bug shirt. And so I told it that I work with Kilauea Pest Control, and he was like, "Oh, Kilauea Pest." And I was like, "Yeah, in 18 years, you are the first local guy to ever get that, like, immediately. Like, couple of Howleys get it, but local folks, it's confusing. It's not very funny either, but that's what we have." So.
It's a good story because, when I grew up, the pest control company we had was, "Hey, boy, give me the rubber slipper." Anyway, that was our pest control back then, the roll-up newspaper or the rubber. And you don't use your Scots because you don't want to get all the bug guts on your Scots. You use your Long's 99-cent rubber slipper for that action. But all right, so let's talk about the business. First of all, we're gonna go let's start off with how we know you guys, and it's a very important part of our real estate industry, termite inspections. Let's talk. There's a saying
let's talk termites.
In the rest of the world.
Yeah.
We say, well, let's talk turkey, but with you guys, it's let's talk termite. So what can you tell us about termite inspections, termite damage, what we need to know about termites as homeowners here in Hawaii?
Go for it, Taylor.
All righty. Termites in Hawaii. So Hawaii is notorious for termites. We have two main types of termites, which most people know, the drywood termite and the ground termite. And the ground termites are the ones that cause the majority of the damage because they work so fast and quickly. They don't sleep. They will eat all night, and they will move in colonies of 10 to 20 million all at once underground and kind of just go for it, right? And because Hawaii is so moist as well, especially east side and really anywhere, but they're attracted to moist, wet wood. And so any home in Hawaii that's been around, even new homes we see termites have moved in pretty quickly, is susceptible to termites. And so, and then there's drywood termites, which they're another type of termite that you see the tents on houses and buildings for that. As far as buying a home in Hawaii, it is a concern because you want to make sure the home you're buying isn't full of a bunch of termites. And if you're not well versed in how to inspect for termites, it might be hard to identify them. So we do a lot of termite inspection reports and all over the island, and we do a lot for you. And what that looks like is we're looking for conducive conditions, not only just live activity, but we're also looking for evidence that could be damage or droppings or frass. And then also starting right now, I just got off a call right before this where a lady in Kailua storming last night. She left her door open and the light on her kitchen. She had a whole bunch of termites in her kitchen this morning, and there's wings everywhere. So we deal with that kind of stuff too, and identifying where those swarming termites might be coming from, because it can be difficult if you're a homeowner.
Yeah.
You guys
and
offer
then,
something
maybe
a little
John,
special with the termite, like with the warranty. Talk a little bit about that. That is very unique to your guys' company. This 1-year warranty you offer.
Sure. So when you get a termite inspection, we go through, and like Taylor was saying, we look for ground termites and drywood termites. And for the drywood termites, we give a 1-year warranty free of charge when we clear the with a clear report. So that may mean the house is clear and we didn't find any termites or termite activity. And if we do need to treat or the seller needs to have the place treated, we will warranty the whole building after that, basically the house or the condo, whatever, but basically a free drywood termite warranty. So a lot of real estate professionals prefer us to use that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and yeah,
go ahead. I can lost you guys.
But and I can tell. No, I was gonna say is I can tell when you can tell the Waianae termites, because when you show up to the house to exterminate them, they're all like, "Oh, hey, you got green bottle." No, anyway, but if you and then that's a natural way of getting rid of the Waianae termite. You just put some 6-pack of Heineken in the driveway. They all swarm around, and then you fumigate them right there in the driveway. No, that's not what you guys do. Let's talk about the from a home buying perspective or realtor perspective, scheduling termite inspections. What does that look like with you guys? And typically, what does it cost for a termite inspection?
Sure. Yeah. A termite inspection, usually the lender will have a window. You got to do it before closing. So generally it's about 2 weeks or so is when you need to have the actual termite inspection done. It's up to the lender, of course. And so sometimes that changes. Usually the realtors you work with are find that out from the lender. And so as far as scheduling an appointment, my advice to realtors and professionals we work with is earlier is always the better. So that way we can make sure we get there at the right time when the owner's home or the tenant's home, or if it's on lockbox, it needs to be in between other inspections. But of course, at Kilauea, we always try to make ourselves available, and we have several, even on the management staff, that will go out and get an emergency termite inspection report done if needed to, because we know how critical timing is during escrow. You have a very specific chain you need to follow. And so as far as scheduling, what you do is you can reach out to us by phone, but what we'll probably follow up with you is we'll send you a form and an email, and it'll have the information and data we need, like the escrow number and the escrow agent and the information part. What's if it's a condo or a single family home or whatever, and we'll fill that out, and then we'll set the inspection, and then we'll go and do the inspection. And one of the other perks working with us as well is we have a dedicated termite inspection report writer, right? And so we send all the information when we're at the house, right when we finish, within minutes, and she gets all the information right away, and she'll start writing that within pretty quickly. And so we pretty much guarantee that we'll get back a report within 24 hours, which is really, again, critical with the timing. I know with escrow and real estate professionals, the faster they can get that and check that off the list of one of the things they have to do, the better. So we emphasize getting it back to you quickly. And so that's kind of the brief overview.
Yeah, and us realtors, we're like super organized. We always tell you guys well in advance. We give you guys plenty time for schedule. No, we don't. We're terrible at it. We're always doing stuff last minute. So we appreciate the fact that you have multiple people that can jump on our termite, because there's no such thing as a termite emergency or a real estate emergency, but termite inspections, if they're not getting done on time or within the contract deadlines, it can mess up the escrow process. So thank you guys for accommodating us, super organized, always planning ahead,
Yes.
never calling you last minute for termite inspection realtors. Thank you. So, Adrian, what other questions you have for them, Adrian?
Well, I mean, you guys obviously are our go-to source for all of our termite situations, but there's all sorts of other pests that you deal with. And I've personally been able to utilize your services for, I had like a bird problem. It was pooping all over my car and all over my driveway, which no longer is happening. So thank you for that. But then also just this maintenance service. So like, can you talk a little bit more about the other things that you offer your clients?
Sure, I can do that. So we are a full service pest control company. We do everything from the drywood termites and ground termites and fumigation and ground termite treatment and spot treatments, like Adrian was saying, all the way over to pest control, structural pest control. If you have pets, we do things like fleas and ticks, that sort of thing. And then even the weird stuff, the wildlife, as much wildlife as we have here. We do, we trap for cats and humanely even trap for birds and what else? Mongoose. We do all sorts of trappings as well. So, and with that, with our pest control services, which is probably what we're best known for, is just our friendly and easily scheduling that we have. If you're a customer, you talk to our office folks, and we'd really try to get out to you as soon as we can. And then our technicians that show up to do regular, usually it's every other month or a quarterly service. The idea is that if you could do a good outdoor treatment, you can keep the pest from coming in. And if you ever do need us inside, we come out for free of charge in between the regular services. And so a lot of people like that. The other thing is that the products we use are pretty low toxicity. And so they're made specifically for the pest, and we try to put those products where the pests are and not where you and your family are. And so you can be home while we do virtually all of our treatments. There's a couple, like if we're doing a space spray for fleas or like a bed bug treatment, you would need to leave her. But the regular ants and roaches and whatnot, folks can actually be home while we do the work, and it just needs to dry before people or pets are back in that area. So, yeah.
In fact, you guys were at my house this morning.
Oh yeah.
You were at my house. Well, not you, but one of your team members was out.
Glad to help.
And my kids were doing their homeschooling, and he was spraying around.
Nice.
He was spraying for kids who don't do their online schooling. No, he wasn't spraying the kids. But question for you, Taylor. I'm always putting this out there, but what about neighbors who stink at karaoke? Can you fumigate them?
Can't fumigate. Maybe we can put some data out too, like you said with the Wyanite termites, similar type of thing.
Yeah. Green bottle. But
maybe some garage sales.
And you guys come out to my house. I'll tell you, it's one of the nice things I like about you guys. They pay attention. They knock on the door. They're very courteous. I'm one of those weird people that doesn't have a whole bunch of junk stacked up all around my house, and so they can come around the perimeter of my house pretty easy. But here's the thing I noticed about your guys that was very, very courteous. They moved my floor mats. They would scoot them back so that they didn't spray my doormats outside my house. They scooted them back so that when they spray whatever it is they were spraying, they weren't spraying on my doormats and they didn't step it on my feet and then come bring them in the house. They also check with us to see if we're having any issues inside the house. And then what they'll do is they'll come inside the house and catch any special areas. Teenagers that might be back talking. I really like that one when they fumigate those ones. But anyway, what else, Adrian? You got some more questions?
That's also of the slipper variety.
Yeah, give me the rubber slipper.
So I have pets in my house. I have 2 cats and a dog, and I love it how the treatment that you guys use, it's safe for my pets. Like I don't feel like something bad is going to happen to them. And then, you know, I don't have bugs, right? So I'm a very satisfied customer here with my kids, my pets, and my no bug house, my no pest house.
You know, and then let's
Always
talk
appreciate
about,
the feedback. Thank you.
We're coming to the, you guys are awesome. You got good reviews. I noticed that companies are run by good people, and good people hire good people. And I've never had a bad experience with either John or the fact you have Taylor. How long have you been with the company, Taylor?
I first started with them in 2012, so it's been a while.
Yeah. So that says a lot about the company itself, the ownership, the leadership. When you have long-time people, you know, I've dealt with other companies, and it's always this new person, always the new person we're dealing with. But it's always going to be John from day one, and then it's always been Taylor representing the company. So good job on you guys. Last couple two things. Any questions we haven't asked that we should have? And are there any kind of funny stories or experiences you guys wanted to share with our viewers?
Well, just for one thing I failed to mention actually is that we have a couple of new services that we're perfecting, but I've gotten some feedback that I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with flies in your yard. Flies are super hard to control, because it usually has to do with pets and pet droppings, and that can come from the neighbors, and so you don't have a whole lot of control over it. But there are some products that we use, and it's an add-on service, but we can certainly take care of flies in the yard, and the product lasts about a month. It's really good, and the feedback we've had is like it's excellent. So but like I say, flying things are hard, and the other thing is mosquitoes. Is that we can definitely help people out with mosquito treatments for the yard. And again, there's different kinds of mosquitoes. There's day biters and night biters, and so we have to do a little investigation work on to what we can tell people they can expect from their homes. But we have different treatments to treat both, but just to let people know what they can expect. The better you communicate with your customers and let them know what they can expect, the happier they're going to be either way.
That's pretty good. When I'm at the beach, can you guys come host the place down when I'm at the beach? Yeah, that's because it's when you're outside trying to enjoy. Yeah, when you're outside trying to enjoy the outside and you're getting bombarded with the flies, typically I gotta do like the sacrificial plate lunch. We gotta go put them in the corner, and then all the flies go on top of them. But so instead of the sacrificial plate lunch, you can knock them out and stuff with that. What about you, Taylor? Any other services or stories you want to share before we wrap it up?
Well, I was going to add on to just to piggyback on John's comment there about flies and mosquitoes. Is something that is actually a core value at Kilauea is authentic, friendly service and being a pest specialist and a concierge for our customers. And so that also includes education. And so I would say something that we try to strive to is, especially with flies and stuff like that, like John said, communication is important. It involves education, because flies could be something as, like he said, picking up dog poop, or actually I had a lady the other day that was having a lot of fly issues, and it was really their trash cans that just needed to be cleaned out. And so I instructed her how she can clean out the trash can safely. And it's not even a pesticide, right? But it's something that you can do for sanitation wise. And we're able to do an inspection at people's homes. We do it a lot for businesses too, because there's other methods to get rid of different pests besides spraying pesticides. And we try to integrate as much as what that is called. It's called integrated pest management, or IPM, in our services as well, because there's a lot of different methods to get rid of or control pests, and it's best to use as many as possible in the right amounts. And so I think something that our customers, hopefully they can rely on us for, is if they call us, even if it's something they don't even end up using us, they have a question about, about rodents, maybe in the walls or something, they can rely on us and ask questions, and we can educate them as much as possible, give them the options they have to maybe even try stuff on their own first, or things they can do if they need to clean out the trash can or something. and then we can come in too as well as professionals and provide a service when it's needed. And so that piggybacks on the flies, because flies are like John said, is one of those difficult pests to control, but there are different ways to help mitigate that and decrease the population, I guess.
All right, so we want to thank you guys for being on our Friday live. It's going out on to Facebook, to YouTube, LinkedIn, and then I think maybe the CIA might be watching too. We don't know.
Awesome.
We don't know. But yep, it's all over the place. And if you guys want to get a hold of them, you can go to teamlally.com, go to the resources section, and it's the experts we trust. They're on our site. We've been working with you guys for a couple of years. Let's name all the termite and pest control people we recommend. Only got one. Is Kilauea Pest Control. That's it.
Kilauea Pest.
Kilauea the Pest. We personally use them at our own homes, and we appreciate you guys' high level of service and taking into consideration that when we refer to you, it's a reflection of us. So you've been preserving our reputation by continuing to give that awesome service that you guys have been providing. So realtors, homeowners, if you want the best, go with Kilauea Pest. Okay, that's my tagline for today.
That's
all right, guys.
Nicely done.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks, Antonio.